Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture we are going to learn about multiple access protocol. So let's start. So if there is a dedicated link between the sender and the receiver, then the data link control layer is sufficient. However, if there is no dedicated link present, then multiple stations can access the channel simultaneously. Hence, multiple access protocols are required to decrease the collisions and avoid a crosstalks. So suppose in a classroom of full of students, when teacher asks a question, all the students starts answering simultaneously, then a lot of noises is created, and then it is the job of teacher to manage the students and make them answers one at a time. So exactly that same situation happen in the computer network when you are transmitting any data over the network. If there is a wired link between this two devices present, yes, dedicated link between that device is present, then no worry about that. But if there is a no dedicated link present in that multiple stations, then what happened? All the messages that is sending over the network use the same channel. Yes, suppose I want to travel from Bhavnagar to Surat or Bhavnagar to Navsari, then I have to choose a one road, yes, that is a common medium to reach to the destination. So I see in the same situation happen in the networking, that if I send a data, then all the data is use the same network channel to travel. So it may possible that some messages are mixed up. Yes, some collision is created, crosstalk is created. So for that, multiple access protocol is introduced which handles such kind of situations. So these protocols are required for sharing data on non-dedicated channels. Multiple access protocol can be subdivided as a channel partitioning protocol, random access protocol, and task run protocols. So let's start with the first, which is a channel partitioning protocols. It divides channel into a smaller pieces, and that pieces can be a time, frequency, or code. Suppose suppose this is a network channel. So here we are dividing that network channel into some small pieces, and we are assigning that this small pieces to that particular type of group or particular type of people to use them. So that is called the channel partitioning protocols. It allocates pieces to node or exclusive use. Example of channel partitioning protocols are TDMA, FDMA, and CDMA. TDMA stands for time division multiple access, FDMA stands for frequency division multiple access, and the CDMA stands for code division multiple access. So these are the three methods used for channel partitioning protocols. So let's understand each in detail. So the first is a TDMA. The first is FDMA. FDMA means frequency division multiple access. Because it is under the category of channel partitioning, so here we are dividing our channel based on frequency. That is why the name frequency division multiple access. We are dividing our frequency such that multiple user can use the same channel simultaneously. So FDMA is a channelization protocol in which bandwidth is divided into the various frequency bands. Each station is allocated with a band to send the data, and that band is reserved for particular station for all time, which is as follow. So suppose in this figure we can see that suppose in a graph, this is a frequency axis and this is a time axis. So here, because it is a frequency division, so here this is a frequency axis, so we are dividing the frequency axis, yes, into a particular chunks. So here this is how we can divide the frequency into frequency. So this is how we can divide our channel or the bandwidth of the channel. So that is why it is called the frequency division. Here we are dividing this frequency, and now suppose we have multiple group of people. So here this is given to the user 1, station 1, or this is given to the station 2, or this is given to the station 3. So for that, now station 1 can only access this frequency band, station 2 can only access this frequency band. So the collision between this frequency and this frequency will be minimized. So that is how data is divided. So suppose, as I said, this is the same way. Here this is a frequency channel, and we are dividing frequency into the smaller units. In a FDMA method, guard bands are used between the adjacent signal spectra to minimize crosstalks between the channels. So as I said that, suppose this is a frequency and we have divided this frequency into these 3 multiple bands. But we are putting this band, this round cylindrical shape, we can call this channel or this band to the guard bands. Guard bands means it protects our frequency chunks for mixing by mixing each other. So suppose some data is, we are giving this channel to the station 1 and this is given to the station 2. So it may possible that some of the data may mixed up, but because of this frequency guard, it protects to mix up the data. So a specific frequency band is given to the one person, and it will receive by identifying each of the frequency on the receiving end. It is often used in the first generation of analog mobile phone. So that is all about the FDMA. Now the second method is a time division multiple access. So because this is a time division, so in this method we are dividing the time rather than frequency. This is the same graph. Here in this x it is a frequency x and this is a time axis. So we are dividing channel into time slots. So TDM is a channelization protocol in which bandwidth channel is divided into the various stations on time basis. There is a time slot given to each station. Station can transmit data during that time slot only, which is as follows. So in this axis, yes, suppose this is a 3 time slot, 1, 2 and 3, and this is given to the first station, second station and third station. So what happened, suppose this time slot is of 5 minutes. So each slot is of 5 minutes. So one station can use this time slot for 5 minutes. Suppose your data length is longer, and after 5 minutes, for suppose 4 bytes of data may be pending. So for that, if this time slot is finished, then the again new time slot is provided to you. So in that time slot you can send the remaining data. So that is how the data is sent with the time division multiple access. So we are providing some particular time slot to each and every user. They can use that time slots. So the mixing of data may be reduced because no one can use that time slot rather than the person assigned. So time division multiple access is a digital cellular telephonic communication technology. It facilitates many users to share the same frequency without interference. It is a technology divides a signal into different time slots and increases data carrying capacity. So suppose we are calling to our friend. So when we are talking to each other, so in that type of communication, some time slot is provided between these two communication, and we are talking in that time slot only. And if our communication is longer than that time slot, so again new time slot is provided So that is how the communication is happen. Typically a slot size are chosen so that a single packet can be transmitted during a slot time. TDMA is attractive because it eliminates collisions and is perfectly fair. Each node gets a dedicated transmission rate during each frame time. However, it has two major drawbacks. First, a node is limited to an average rate of R by N bps speed even when it is the only node with the packet to send. And a second drawback is that node must always wait for its turn in a transmission sequence even when it is the only node with a frame to send. Now the third method is a code division multiple access. So in frequency and time we are dividing our channels, but suppose that we don't want to partitioning our channel. So for that the solution is code division multiple access. Here we are not cutting or we are not dividing our bandwidth into a slots, but we are sending some other different kinds of code with our code during transmission. So while TDMA and FDMA assigns the time slots and the frequencies respectively, the nodes CDMA assigns a different code to each nodes. Each node then uses its unique code to encode that data bits it stands. So if codes are chosen carefully, CDMA network have the wonderful property that different nodes can transmit simultaneously and yet have the respective receiver correctly receives the sender's encoded data bits in spite of interfering transmission by other nodes. So CDMA has been used in a military system for some time and now has a whispered civilian use, particularly in cellular telephony, because CDMA use is so tightly tied to wireless channel. So it will suffice to know that CDMA codes like time slots in TDMA and frequency in FDMA can be allocated to multiple access channel users. So as I said that in the CDMA, suppose these two people are communicating with each other and this wants to send a message to this person and the second person wants to communicate with this second person. So in that we are sending the codes. So here the node have some code. So suppose it wants to send a hi message. So with the hi, suppose the purple code is given here. So that is some kinds of encoding. So the message is encoded with that code and transmitted over the network. Same as here the green code is applied on the go message and that message is transmitted over the network. Now when they use the same channel, at that time both have the different codes and both have different encoding, so they can't mix each other and reaches to the destination without any error. So that is how code division multiple access is work. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening.